Top 10 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. We all love a good conspiracy theory, right? It's that part of us that wants to believe in something bigger, something hidden. Some theories are so wild you can't help but laugh. But then, there are the ones that make you stop and think, what if they're right? The ones that keep you up at night. And the craziest part? Sometimes those theories turn out to be true, like actually true. It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew. So buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the world of conspiracies. Get ready to have your mind blown as we count down the top 10 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Okay, so we're starting off strong with this one. Project MK Ultra. Even the name sounds like something out of a creepy sci-fi movie, right? But this is real life. For years, people whispered about the CIA doing these crazy experiments, trying to control people's minds. Imagine being drugged without your knowledge, given LSD, and forced to endure intense psychological torture sessions. That's what MK Ultra was all about. They wanted to see if they could create the perfect spies, assassins, or even just turn people into mindless puppets. And the worst part is, they were doing it to their own people. In 1975, everything changed. They found documents, proof that MK Ultra wasn't just some crazy conspiracy theory, it was real. The CIA was actually trying to control people's minds. Alright, so we're moving on to the 1960s, a time of massive social change. The civil rights movement was in full swing, but behind the scenes, something dark was brewing. The FBI, the very organization tasked with protecting us, was secretly waging war on its own citizens. I'm talking about COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program. Imagine being Martin Luther King Jr., a leader fighting for equality. And then imagine finding out that the FBI was spying on you, tapping your phones, trying to discredit you and your movement. They were obsessed with silencing dissent, even if it meant using illegal tactics, intimidation, and spreading lies. They infiltrated civil rights groups, sowed discord, and even tried to turn people against their own leaders. For years, nobody believed it. Declassified files proved that COINTELPRO was real, and it was as dirty as it gets. It's a stark reminder that even in a democracy, power can corrupt. Okay, let's talk about cigarettes. We all know they're bad for you, right? Like, duh. But there was a time when Big Tobacco tried to convince everyone that smoking was totally fine, even glamorous. They had doctors in their commercials telling us cigarettes were good for our throats. Can you believe that? They knew how harmful cigarettes were, but they kept selling them anyway, making billions while people got sick and died. In the 90s, internal documents came out, proof that Big Tobacco had been lying to the public for decades. They knew about the cancer, the heart disease, the addiction, all of it. They knew, and they chose to prioritize their greed over human lives. It's a classic example of corporate greed going unchecked. This wasn't just some conspiracy theory, it was a conspiracy of silence, a deliberate attempt to deceive the public for financial gain. Always question, always dig deeper, because the truth is out there. Guys, this next one is really heavy, really disturbing. It's called the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, and it's one of the most shameful chapters in American history. Imagine being a black man in the American South during the Jim Crow era. Life is already hard enough, right? You face discrimination, segregation, and limited opportunities. Now imagine being told you have bad blood, and that the government is offering free medical care. These men, hundreds of them, were injected with syphilis without their knowledge or consent. They were told they were being treated, but in reality, they were being used as guinea pigs in a twisted experiment. The researchers wanted to study the progression of untreated syphilis, even though they had a cure available, penicillin. They let these men suffer, watching as the disease ravaged their bodies, all for the sake of science. It went on for 40 years. It wasn't until 1972 that a whistleblower finally exposed the truth, and the world was horrified. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment is a stain on our nation's conscience, a reminder of the systemic racism and medical malpractice that have plagued our history. Okay, we've all heard the name Watergate, right? It's like synonymous with political scandals. But let's rewind to 1972. 5 men break into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate Hotel. At first, it seemed like a minor burglary, right? Wrong. This was just the tip of the iceberg, the beginning of a conspiracy that would rock the nation and bring down a president. The deeper they dug, the more they realized this was no ordinary break-in. It was a politically motivated act of espionage, orchestrated by people within the Nixon administration. The cover-up was massive, involving high-ranking officials, hush money, and destroyed evidence. The Watergate scandal showed the world that even the most powerful people in the world are not above the law. It proved that a free press is essential for holding those in power accountable. Okay, let's talk Area 51. Even the name sends chills down your spine, right? It's like the holy grail of conspiracy theories, shrouded in mystery and government secrecy. Located in the middle of the Nevada desert, Area 51 has been a source of speculation and intrigue for decades. Is it a top-secret military base, a testing ground for experimental aircraft, or is it something more extraterrestrial? For years, people have whispered about UFO sightings, alien autopsies, and government cover-ups. It all seemed like the stuff of science fiction, but the government's refusal to acknowledge its existence only fueled the flames of conspiracy. Then, in 2013, something amazing happened. The US government finally declassified documents acknowledging the existence of Area 51. They admitted it was a secret military base, used for testing experimental aircraft and technology. But here's the thing, that admission only raised more questions. Area 51 continues to fascinate and intrigue us, a reminder that there are still mysteries in this world, secrets yet to be revealed. Okay, this next one is like straight out of a spy movie. Imagine a world where the news you read, the stories you watch, are all being secretly controlled by the government. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's the premise behind Operation Mockingbird. During the Cold War, rumors swirled that the CIA was secretly infiltrating the media, planting propaganda and manipulating public opinion. The idea was that the CIA would use journalists as unwitting assets, feeding them information, shaping narratives, and controlling the flow of information to the public. It was a conspiracy theory that seemed too far-fetched, too insidious to be real. But guess what? It was. Declassified documents later revealed that the CIA was indeed involved in a massive propaganda campaign, using front organizations, journalists on their payroll, and covert operations to influence media coverage. It's a chilling reminder that we can't always trust what we read or see in the news. It's a call to be critical thinkers, to question our sources, and to be wary of propaganda and misinformation. Chapter 8. The Gulf of Tonkin Incident, a lie that started a war. Okay, this one is heartbreaking. The Gulf of Tonkin Incident. It's 1964 and the Vietnam War is escalating. Tensions are high and the world is watching. Then, reports emerge of North Vietnamese torpedo boats attacking U.S. destroyers in the Gulf of Tonkin. This was a turning point in the war, used as justification for escalating U.S. military involvement in Vietnam. The incident sparked outrage, fueled public support for the war, and led to devastating consequences. But here's the thing, it was all a lie. Years later, declassified documents revealed that the Gulf of Tonkin incident was grossly exaggerated, if not entirely fabricated. Imagine that a war that claimed countless lives was based on a lie. Chapter 9. NSA Mass Surveillance, Big Brother is watching you. Remember that feeling you get when you think someone's watching you? That creepy sense that your privacy is being invaded? Then came Edward Snowden. In 2013, he blew the whistle on the NSA's massive surveillance programs, revealing the collection of phone records, emails, and internet data on millions of Americans. It confirmed our worst fears about government overreach and the erosion of privacy, a reminder to be vigilant about protecting our privacy and demanding transparency. Chapter 10. The Manhattan Project, the secret that changed the world. Okay, this one's a little different, but it's still a massive conspiracy, a secret so big it could have changed the course of history. We're talking about the Manhattan Project. Imagine being a scientist during World War II, recruited for a top-secret government project. You're told it's important, vital for national security, but you're sworn to secrecy. You can't tell anyone, not even your family, what you're working on. This was the reality for thousands of people involved in the Manhattan Project, the United States' secret effort to develop the atomic bomb. For years, they worked tirelessly in secret labs and remote facilities, racing against time to create a weapon of unimaginable power. The world only learned about the Manhattan Project after the bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. the Manhattan Project remains a controversial chapter in our past, a reminder of the awesome power of science and the devastating consequences of its misuse. The truth is out there. Wow, you guys, we've covered some seriously heavy stuff today. It's crazy to think that all these conspiracy theories, things that people dismissed as crazy talk, turned out to be true. It just goes to show you, you can't always believe what you hear, even from the people in charge. Sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction. But here's the thing, these stories, as wild as they are a reminder that we need to be more aware, more curious, more willing to question the official narrative. Don't just accept things at face value, do your own research, think critically, and never be afraid to ask questions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed diving into these true conspiracy theories, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown.